Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Jonathan Daly LaBelle. I'm a resident of Westerly. My representative is Azanaro. I was a long time resident in South Kingstown, but I moved to Westerly this past summer. I am a consistent voter and activist, and I'm calling in support of House Bill 6637, and very appreciative of Representative Henry's leadership on this, as well as her co-sponsors. I think everybody's done a great job speaking. There's not a lot that I can add, but I would just say, it's just very difficult for me to understand how in this day and age this is even something that needs to be debated. There may be some nuances that I don't quite understand, but it seems very straightforward. And the fact that this is even trying to get brought forward seems to be proof of how out of whack our systems are. I did have a question related to some of the conversation earlier. I'm just wondering if Representative Knight thinks that offenders of this act, should it pass, whether they should go on the sex offender registry.
Well, I appreciate your question, and I want to say at the outset that if no one got my, I probably wasn't clear before because I was talking more about the language in the bill than the thrust of the bill. I abhor and detest this kind of behavior. I think that at a minimum, a police officer or law enforcement person who engages in this behavior has violated the public trust, and there should be a severe penalty for that, starting with losing their job. And we were just talking sort of off to the side a little bit about what other penalties there might be, or how this bill in itself might be tweaked. I do think, I think the question of registry and community notification is a very difficult one. The General Assembly and the body politic of Rhode Island has made a decision going back to the early 2000s, no, the 90s, that's how they want to do business. If somebody is convicted of certain offenses that involve sexual misconduct, then they have to be subject to the registration law. And it's here, it's in Rhode Island, it works. And so I think if we do say that someone has criminally engaged in sexual misconduct, then I think they should have to register. So that, I mean, that answers your question. That's a long-winded answer to your question. These kind of bills are really important to work on hard at this stage and get them right, because down the road, when they're put into play, you want to make sure that you punish the guilty, but you want to make sure that you accomplish your aims at the end, and you don't have any unintended consequences with poor drafting or drafting that doesn't take into account the other laws that are on the books right now. I'm sorry, does that answer your question?
That was awesome. I really appreciate that.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate the question.
Yeah. So I'll just finish up. Sure. That hopefully the concerns can get addressed. Work with the sponsor and the co-sponsors, with the committee. If there's a will, there's a way, and so hopefully heads can be put together, and this can come out of committee this year. And then just the last piece, the phone system calling in seems to be so efficient for democracy. It actually seems to be an efficient use of committee members' time. So I hope that this is something that can continue moving forward, and I appreciate all of your service.